I've had pneumonia for many years, and at the beginning I would get it occasionally, maybe once in several years or whatever, and then as I got older, I found that it was increasing, and I was continually getting pneumonia. And of course, with that, you have to go to the doctor. And so I was being put through several tests. My family doctor sent me to a specialist because they could not figure out why I kept getting this recurring pneumonia. And at one point, an x-ray came back, and the technician read it as small cell lung cancer because the infection was so terrible. It looked exactly like that. And so then, from the point of going to the specialist, I was being asked to do this test and that test, and some of them were a little bit invasive. And I was getting a little concerned because I really don't care for medications, and I don't want any of that kind of thing being done to my body. So on one occasion when he asked me to do this, some sort of breathing test and then possibly an endoscopy and different things, and he was telling me it might be this, it might be that, it might be the others, these different diseases. And I got a little concerned, so I thought I need to go onto the computer, onto the internet, and start researching about this and find out so that I can ask the appropriate questions when I go for my appointment. And as I was researching on the internet, I came across Buteyko breathing. And of course, that kind of intrigued me. So I went onto the website and I read up on it. And what I read and what I found out convinced me, well, this is an approach that is non-invasive. It's drugless. There are no medications. There's a one-time fee to pay for the course. And I thought, well, I've done the naturopath, I've done the chiro, I've done all these different health alternative things, and they're an ongoing cost. Everything costs something. I thought, well, this is a one-time cost. I'm going to give it a try and see. And so I did the beginning course, and I found that it did make a difference. And so I've continued now with it, and I really believe that it has helped considerably for me. Years ago, I started out, I guess, with candida, and that kind of, with all the things that went on, kind of ruined my health. And then at the same time, I was having recurring UTIs, bladder infections, and was constantly on antibiotics. So I believe over the years that I really did my body in because of all these things that were going on. And perhaps that led to the pneumonia at the end, where the body just can't, the immune system is so down that it cannot resist any of these things. Bronchitis was another one that I continually had over the years. And as I got into this course, some of these things, I guess maybe I'm going ahead of myself as far as the cleansing and that kind of thing, but mainly I would say it was the bronchitis, first the candida, then it started into the bronchitis I had from a child, and then the pneumonia. And when it escalated to the point where I ended up in the hospital for 4 days a year ago, I just thought, I don't want to go down this path. And I was getting a little desperate as to try to find out what I could do to help myself. I was getting pneumonia maybe every other month, or even sometimes more, even oftener than that, or more often, I should say, than that. And so, and each time it seemed like the antibiotics were getting stronger, and I wasn't able to, the body wasn't able to fight it off. So that was a great concern. Well, I started actually the course in September. I think it was September the 14th of 2015. Yes, and in August I had another bout of pneumonia, and since I started the course, I have not been sick one day. And this winter, even though we've had a mild winter, there were all kinds of strange flus and sicknesses and things going around, and even with my grandchildren around being sick, I was not sick one day. And to me, that was really something, and I thought, I haven't done anything else different other than taking this course. So that really convinced me that what I'm doing is helping my situation. Well, when I first researched online, there's a little thing on there that says you can do the control pause, and it tells you how to do it. And I did it. And I think I maybe achieved 15 if I could at that point. And then I realized, and my husband also, I should mention this maybe, my husband used to be quite concerned about my night breathing, especially. He'd say, I'm worried. You don't even seem like you're going to get the next breath, because I seem to be really struggling with my breathing at night. And so then when I learned that I was breathing at that rate enough for 2 or 3 people, and that's why my breathing at night especially was being affected. So that first time when I did my control pause, like I say, it was about 15, and I was surprised that that's as far as I could go. But then after I started taking the course, I was up beyond 20, 25, around there. And it has continually gone up to the point where now it's usually 30 plus, depending on what my days are like and how many times I've done it. But usually it's over 30, and I'm happy with that because I can feel a difference. First of all, when I first started, I lost 10 pounds, and I was getting a little concerned because it just was going down fairly quickly. And I've tried to lose weight different times, and then nothing really happened. So I lost about 10 pounds, and I stabilized at that point. And I have maintained that weight. And the other thing is, I often could find myself wheezing, especially if I would go up a flight of stairs, or if I would be exerting myself physically. I was out of breath, I was short of breath, and I don't find that anymore. I can go up the stairs, I'm not breathing hard, I can do physical activities, and I really don't feel the same wheezing and trouble breathing that I had before. Energy level, I've been a pretty high level energy person, but I can maintain the energy, and the endurance I find when I'm doing physical activities is much better than it used to be. So I'm very thankful because I can see that difference. Yeah, in the first course, in the beginner's course, you learn how to breathe and how to increase your control pause and your maximum pause. But really, that's basically all that you're doing for yourself. But when I got into the intermediate course and realized, wow, there's another part of this, the physical activity as well. And then when you learn that you build up the CO2 level in your body with the physical activity, then it really does make more sense to do the physical as well. And I think it also makes you feel better because you're moving physically, not just the breathing. So I found it a big help to do the physical part. You can do it whenever, especially the breath holds. You're walking around the house, you just hold your breath, and I take 30 steps and try to do that 10 to 15 times a day. So it can really fairly easily be incorporated. Even the walking part can be incorporated into your everyday activities. So I find it very beneficial to add the physical component. And I found that when you start to feel better, things start to slack off. And then I get symptoms that maybe this is a cold coming on, or maybe this could go into pneumonia again. And then I think, oh, I know what I need to do. I need to start again to build up my CO2 level. And that's the first thing I think of. Before it was, oh, I got to go to the doctor. I've got to make an appointment. Things are happening. But now I'm not so fearful of that because I know what I can do to help myself. Yes, it is difficult. I've often said to people, this is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, especially at my age now, because there are so many habits that need to be changed, and that takes time. And so some days are better than others. It depends on your activity. If I'm out of the home, I find it a little bit difficult, but I think you can easily incorporate these breathing things in your days, no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing. I think it depends on their philosophy. Many people think the way to help themselves is to run to the doctor, get some medication, and that's going to fix everything. That has not been my outlook in life. And so if I find a person who's more receptive to a different approach, and especially if they're interested in drugless kinds of things to help themselves, then I think I will go into it and elaborate on it more. But I have mentioned it to several people as I find that I'm getting the results. You want to share with others. And when you see them struggling with their health, that's the first thing that comes to my mind now, is I need to share this with them, because maybe they can also get relief from their symptoms like I did. I'm not a techie, but it was so simple that anybody can do it. And I found that the visual, you can listen, but sometimes if you're not an auditory learner, then it's a little difficult. But with the visual in front of you, especially for the exercises, I found that a real benefit to see actually another person doing it, so that you could use that when you were doing it yourself. The fact that you could connect with people, even to hear other people's questions, you always learn something from every webinar. And whenever there's one that's available, I'm always ready to sign up, because learning is important, and knowing how to handle some of the things you're dealing with. It's great. I think for this modern day technology, it's a fantastic way to do these courses. I think perhaps the thing that I would share with people most often is, it's something that will, if you're not a disciplined person, it will teach you to become disciplined if you really want to get better. And I think consistency, perseverance, all those good traits that we all need. I mean, that's the plus that comes with feeling better at the end. And then you get your energy back. You get all these things back that I haven't found any other way in all my years to find doctors giving me that kind of thing, or any alternative health method. I find that this, yes, the onus is on the person doing it, so you get out of it what you put into it. And I'm thankful, because I can see a big difference already in myself. Value, because I really feel that I'm so thankful that I found this method, and that it has really helped me to this point. And that's honestly from my heart. It's made a big difference. And to think you don't need medication, to me, that's the best thing yet.